to share this post here from the Vice President, J.D. Vance, saying the president offered multiple off-ramps, but was very clear throughout this process that drug trafficking must stop and the stolen oil must be returned to the United States. Maduro is the newest person to find out that President Trump means what he says. Kudos to our brave special operators who pulled off a truly impressive operation. So we talked about this a little bit earlier, but in terms of, I've been on the desk multiple times the past several months reporting on these alleged drug boat strikes. How long has this been in the works here, and what legality did President Trump have to do this? Because we do have some lawmakers saying he should have consulted Congress. Constitutionally, he has to consult Congress. Others saying President Trump was in his authority to do this.
Yeah, look, so on the last piece there, any politician that comes out and says either this is illegal or that he should have consulted Congress, they're flat out lying to you. Under Title 10, Title 50 authorities, the President of the United States was granted the authorities to carry out these actions. Those that claim the War Powers Act somehow plays a role in this, that's not true too. That's only for sustained military confrontation. The President of the United States, and through the National Security Council, carried out lawful orders. Part of that also, by the way, is informing Congress, which I have no doubt. I've been in some of those meetings. We inform Congress. We let them know. Now, whether that congressperson wants to go out and admit it or go ahead and for political reasons just claim that they didn't know anything and plead innocence, that's a very different thing. But I guarantee you the United States, this administration and every president that I've ever served for takes those authorities very, very seriously, and they carry out tons of lawyers in D.C. to look this stuff over before anybody lifts a finger. So I would not pay any attention to any of those politicians that claim that somehow this was illegal in any way, shape, or form. That's just not the case. The existing laws, the existing authorities granted to the President of the United States that we've operated under for decades, since 9/11, that's what was used over the last few weeks and months.
A question I have here, no confirmation that had happened, as we said, that Venezuelan vice president would take power, but she did issue that statement demanding the U.S. provide proof of life for Maduro and Flores. What could potentially happen here if the U.S. does not?
Sure. Well, no, look, hey, she'll get her proof of life just like everybody else in the world when he's arraigned in either the Southern District of New York or in South Florida before a judge and in handcuffs and in an orange jumpsuit, hopefully. That's when she'll get her proof of life.
Now, what do you see long term here for Venezuela? We've talked about this a bit, but long term here for our viewers who are wondering what this could look like, the outcome of this in the coming months here, what do you anticipate?
A return to normalcy. I mean, Venezuela had like the second highest GDP in our hemisphere behind us until Chavez and then later Maduro came into power. And then now I think it's ranked second or third behind Haiti. So and this all happened in less than half a generation. So there's a strong, there's a strong memory for how things used to be. There's considerable capital from Venezuelans and Venezuelan Americans living here in the United States. They have tons of resources in minerals and oil and everything else. And they know what politics and democracy are, So I think what we're going to see is a return to normalcy. We'll have a leadership structure, hopefully that recognizes and honors last year's elections, and we'll, the United States will support those democratic movements, and so will the neighbors of Venezuela. There's not a leader right now in the leaders of Latin America. There's not a leader right now in Latin America that isn't celebrating this, because Maduro was nothing more than a real pain in the butt to all of them over the last few years.
All right, Rick, is there anything else you'd like to add on any of this? Anything I might have missed that you think our viewers need to know?
Yeah, look, I think it's a joyous day in Venezuela. It's a great day for democracy in the region. America is back. We've been saying this and signaling it for the past year. There were a lot of skeptics out there. I was never one of them, having worked with so many people within this administration, folks within the agency and other, and within the Department of Defense. I think the kudos to the special operators and intelligence folks who carried out this operation like clockwork, just real precision in the work that they've done. And I think I think the world's a better place today, this morning.
All right, Rick De La Torre, thank you so much for joining us on Live Now from Fox. We do appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you for having me.
And if you are just joining us on Live Now from Fox, my name is Christy Matino. We are going to step away for a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. You're watching Live Now from Fox. Welcome back in here as President Trump has confirmed the U.S. has captured Venezuela's leader, Nicolas Maduro, as well as his wife. They have been flown out of the country. And if you are just tuning in here, we did hear from President Trump a bit earlier on today on Truth Social. He confirmed this news here. And I'm going to ask my producer, Markima, to try to get that back up for us here so I could share it with you. But in the meantime, I did want to share other reaction that is coming in here from members of Congress, and we've been hearing from leaders internationally as well as those in Washington, D.C. And this is from Representative Jim McGovern. Without authorization from Congress and with the vast majority of Americans opposed to military action, Trump just launched an unjustified illegal strike on Venezuela. He says we don't have enough money for health care for Americans, but somehow we have unlimited funds for war. So we're hearing from both Republicans and Democrats here today, but the legal authority for the strike and whether Trump consulted Congress beforehand, that's not immediately clear, because we're hearing there from some Democrats saying President Trump did not consult Congress, but we're also hearing from several lawmakers saying that President Trump acted within his authority to conduct this strike. This was a lightning fast American military operation. And this echoed the U.S. invasion of Panama that led to the surrender and seizure of its leader back in 1990. So that was exactly 36 years ago on Saturday. Now, I also did want to pull up that post here from President Trump. He shared that to Truth Social. It does appear we don't have it quite yet. So, all right, so my producer is saying we do have it up. Let me try to find that for you here. And again, he shared this very early this morning. This was at 4:30 a.m. Eastern time. President Trump posted this. And this is all that we know right now from the White House, from President Trump. As he says, the United States of America has successfully carried out a large-scale strike against Venezuela and its leader, President Nicolas Maduro, who has been, along with his wife, captured and flown out of the country. This operation was done in conjunction with U.S. law enforcement. He goes on to say here, details to follow. There will be a news conference today at 11 a.m. at Mar-a-Lago. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So in about an hour and a half here, we will be hearing from President Trump. And of course, we do bring that to you uninterrupted here on Live Now from Fox. Now, we also heard from U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi this morning saying Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores, would face charges after an indictment in New York. And President Trump also announcing on Truth Social that there as well. But let's pull up that post here from Attorney General Pam Bondi. If you are just tuning in here, she goes on to list there. She says Nicolas Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores, have been indicted in the Southern District of New York. Nicolas Maduro has been charged with narco-terrorism conspiracy, cocaine importation conspiracy, possession of machine guns and destructive devices, and conspiracy to possess machine guns and destructive devices against the United